Hello everyone. Today we have a very special guest, Elisabeth Westermann. She has developed the sound code therapy in Germany and has trained many therapists in it and had great experiences with her patients. I am very happy to be able to talk to her about it today. Hello Elisabeth. Hello. I'm very happy to be here. Yes, I'm very happy too, especially with the sound code therapy. That was something completely new for me too. I hadn't seen that before. You helped me yesterday too. I had a little fall, and through that a small whiplash injury in the spine. And I really have to say that after your treatment today, I am really very well, so I can move everything wonderfully again. And it was very impressive that just with your hands and with your singing, you brought me into an unbelievable relaxation, and I also really noticed how the spine was corrected, so that was impressive. How did you get to this? Well, I've been singing almost since I was a baby. I sang before I spoke, so it kind of made sense that something might want to come through me. That has to do with singing in some form. And as a child, I somehow knew that something was coming. And then I got several hints. I will shorten that a bit. Otherwise, I could talk about it for a whole hour, and that's not that interesting. I just got impulses that there is something like sound keys or sound codes which can simply have a very specific effect on the body, on the soul, on the spirit of a person. And I was supposed to go on a research trip there, and then I did just that and just asked that I will get information, just like that. I have asked that what may already be created somewhere in my system, and I was told that by a woman who was very clairvoyant, who said, "You have this in your personal Akashic record." That's what she called it. Just see if you can download this. And if you can and like to work with the concept of different lives, then I've certainly done it more than once before. And I also had inner images of where and how in retrospect. And then I sat down and just asked for these tone sequences. First of all, I was told very clearly that it is not about the absolute pitch. With the absolute pitch, because you're dealing with a certain frequency, which can then have a very specific effect on organs under certain circumstances. This system works differently. It works with the melody line. That's a very simple melody with the rhythm and the vowels and the consonants. So it's not about having the tuning fork with you and always hitting the right note, but about that you have a melody, a very simple melody, easier than Brother John. You saw it yesterday. Yes, or would you maybe sing a sound code for the audience? Yes, I can do that. For example, there is a sound code for the field or the being of love. That's what I call love as a state. Oh, that's nice. And this sound code goes like this. I-yo, I-yo, I-yo. Great! You instantly calm down. And one of the reasons for this is how our voice is structured. Our voice is the only instrument there is, which is basically an all-rounder. You can imitate all instruments with your voice, because you can imitate all the series of overtones that define a sound, from an instrument with your voice. And there are different rhythms that appear in the sound. You probably have heard one of them a little already. That is the so-called vibrato. That is between 5 and 7 hertz. And this vibrato brings our system naturally on a brainwave function of theta. This means the brain calms down. First it goes to alpha, then it goes to theta, and then you're in a kind of trance. That's why I've released CDs, which I call Music Healing in Trance. Because you just come into deep relaxation. And you have already noticed that with this one sound code, and when you then sing several, it naturally becomes even deeper, this relaxation. And the nice thing is that the systems of humans, or even animals, or nature react the way they can, and want to, at the moment. So it is completely non-manipulative. And these rhythms that appear in the sound have the option of simply shutting down the system into relaxation, first of all into the alpha state, this is the normal state of meditation, then into the theta state, and then even into the delta state under certain circumstances, which is simply the very deep relaxation that is used, for example, for the binaural beats. Just that it's not induced here now, but it's an offer to the system to take what fits right now. There are people who relax very deeply. Yes, like me yesterday. I really sat there. You started singing and I was gone. So it was really like being in a meditation. But within a very short time. Yes, because it also corresponds to us. Each of us has this singing voice. Correspond, it's already in the word. Exactly. So being human has to do with singing. And I'm from Germany, not from Switzerland. With us, it is so frowned upon now, through the Third Reich, above all, that we sing folk songs, and that when we come together, we sing. That unfortunately has more or less disappeared. For example, when you're in Sweden, I think it's the same in Switzerland, but I don't really know. When you're in, I know it from Sweden, when you meet for dinner, the first thing you do is sing folk songs. Any German would say, "What is that?" I read some reports in the media recently about peaceful demonstration in Berlin, where a large group of people sang the German national anthem peacefully, and the police stopped them with a loudspeaker announcement. I found that interesting because when you look at the pictures and the vibrations and the citizens, there were children, families, grandparents, who sang together and they were stopped. It's something natural, and when we want to calm down, we often hum to ourselves. We still do it with children. That's why we have the lullaby, or we also just sing with them. On a birthday, it is also wonderful when people sing for you. And that's a natural ability. And these rhythms are in the voice. And at the same time, there are very high frequencies in the voice. And these frequencies, around 3,000, 5,000, 8,000, 12,000 hertz, even 24,000, which is then beyond the audible range, they are also very important because they call each of these very specific qualities which support us in healing processes. That means if we can manage to sing a few notes for ourselves, we can do ourselves good. How can these frequencies that you just talked about, that we don't hear, how are they played, or how do these tones come about? It also happens through the way the larynx works. But that would be a long story now. That is a vibrating something in our body, the larynx. And it just creates a multitude of vibrations. including overtones, and the fact that an opera singer can carry a 150-man orchestra with their voice, where brass instruments are around, so decibels are pretty high, and they go over it with their voice. You can hear them. It has to do with these so-called formants, so with these overtone frequencies. And there is a school in Germany that has established, among other things, that these frequencies are around 5,000 and 8,000 hertz. They did research in these areas, and then I added the others too, that they are really profoundly beneficial to the system. It's addicting. And in any case, we can say that there is a very strong serotonin release. The brain reacts by releasing serotonin, and that's all in the voice. So when I sing now, you can tell that I have a trained voice. And then you might think, well, okay, Ms. Westermann can do that, but if she's training people who may have never sung and whose voice is squeaky, how is that supposed to work? The miracle is that the voices evolve through the sound codes, and that people get all these frequencies more and more in their voice. If someone is just starting out, it may take a while, but often people come to me who've already done a bit in the vocal area. But people also come to me who feel like they can't sing. Those who do the training with me. And you can work with the sound codes for yourself. Now that's something I'm just starting out with, to go out more with it, because I think it's important that people can do something for themselves. I think that it's also very important now in this day and age to take on this personal responsibility again. Exactly. Not to wait for someone to fix something for you, but to really say, come and take responsibility for yourself. And then there are combinations. You can get basic treatments first, because when the body gets this information and then transforms, if you do that for yourself, it can be exhausting at times. Then maybe you can get support first. And then you can go ahead by doing some things for yourself, either by listening in a very concentrated way, or by singing yourself. So there are many possibilities. You brought us a video of a lady, which we now want to show. I'm Janine. I had a treatment with Elisabeth in mid-December, and I actually went there very skeptically. I didn't think that it would help me, but now, 3 months later, I have to say, my whole life has changed. I lost over 10 kilograms, and my eating habits have changed. So I'm really amazed by this treatment. Yes, that's impressive, she said, because of her relaxation or whatever was triggered by the therapy. Now she has lost weight. In that case, you say it's not suitable for weight loss. So you can't advertise it like that. But how do you explain what happened to her right now? This woman has not been in a very good mental state for a long time. And I mean, that's something we all have a lot to do with now, especially at this time. The old stories just come up that we are confronted with our blind spot. Yes, and fears. With our fears, with our needs, and with things where we are unhappy and so on. And that's also a great opportunity that lies in it. Because these things can simply be solved. And the sound codes, including those, in this case it was also an atlas correction, also the ones for the atlas and the ones I sing along with it, they simply help that the person can digest and process these things that have come up with them better, and that they no longer need this protective ring either. We have, even I had this at the beginning of this. When it was about this, I always like to call it toad daisies. when we had to deal with that, I also ate differently than I usually did, and noticed that I also gained weight, and I needed that too, because it just gave me a kind of buffer zone. And for some people it's just that. They acquire a strong buffer zone. And if you want to get rid of it, then that will be difficult, because they got used to it, that they just have that support. And when the sound codes have worked now, and the person is more settled, they're more balanced, can see things with greater ease, and see what could still be changed with them, then they can also reduce weight, among other things. And they can just as well gain a bit more quality of life, zest for life and vitality. And they can also experience a physical change, so that the spine becomes straight again, that the atlas can find itself, that the rump can find itself, that the mobility increases. You can also see this wonderfully in animals, which also have this problem. You can often see it even faster than with humans, and that's just incredibly beneficial. Yes, you also do sound code therapy with animals. We'll do another interview for that. But it's very impressive because especially with animals, which cannot have a placebo effect, and by explaining or whatever, you can clearly see from the way animals walk, before and after the treatment, that many things have simply been corrected, head position and so on. So that's really impressive to see what only these frequencies, I mean, there is also frequency therapy on a scientific level. This is no magic now, but there is research that has also been great knowledge about it for centuries actually. So yes, really great. Especially with children, so you can use it anywhere. You can use it anywhere, and it's just like that. That this sound code is like a language for the body. He says exactly what it wants to say. If I have a sound code for the healthy position of the atlas, then this sound code informs the body of how the atlas might sit straight and healthy. When I have a sound code for transforming fear into love, that's also a very nice sound code, because the opposite pole of love is not hate, because that's just a perverted form of love. It's fear. Where there is fear, there cannot be love. If I want to transform fear into love, then it is precisely this energy that is also conveyed there. Exactly this information then goes out into our body, soul, spirit system, and that is what is special about the sound codes. Now, we really need that in Germany. We should really get this sound code that transforms fear into love. I'll sing that one now, and then I'll sing the sound code for peace again. Oh, nice. And by the way, because you mentioned the demonstrations before, I actually have heard one of my sound code therapists on stage at one of these events. It was in Darmstadt, and all of a sudden I hear my sound codes. That means you can use it wonderfully in such situations. So it's such a big field. You can basically have a sound code for a homeopathic remedy, and then it works like the homeopathic remedy, and so on. So there are no limits. Yes, great. Before you sing your sound codes to us, where can the viewers get more information? How do they get to you or to the therapists? Well, there is the website. You can see all the therapists on the website, as well as my own address and phone number. And there you can also register for various seminars if you just want to do something for yourself. The website address is DAO, so daotha.com. And there you find me, and you find a lot of small videos too, so you can browse a bit. The website is quite complex. Today we always like very simple pages. That does not work with this work. There are simply too many different options available. And there is also a shop on the website where you can see what you can buy and then work with yourself. For example, for the pineal gland, or a wide variety of things. Just go and browse, and there are also sound codes for free download. So if you want to try it out, or if you want to experience me live online, you can experience me live once a month in a common sound code singing, and that doesn't cost anything. So you can see if it's something that you want to connect to. Great, but now I'm curious about the sound codes from fear to love and peace. Okay, I'll sing them again now. You can close your eyes and just let it take effect.
Yi o yi o yi o yi o yu. Yi o yi o yi o yi o yu. Yi o yi o yi o yi o yu. Yi o yi o yi o yi o yu. Ayo, 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 ayo. Und noch einmal den Liebescode. Ayo, 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 awen, 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 awen.
And with this last sound code, the sound codes can simply continue to have an effect because actually this is something volatile. It comes and goes, and like that the information can remain. Thank you very much, dear Elisabeth. My pleasure. Nice that you were here. Dear viewers, I hope you could feel the codes at home too and perceive them for yourself. When you sit next to it, it is of course very touching. That puts you right away in one of these states of total relaxation, and I hope you could feel that too. Thank you for watching and see you soon. Bye.